Melissa, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you being willing to sit down with us.
Well, thank you for asking.
Before we get into the issues that we're going to talk about, some very serious issues for the future of healthcare in South Carolina, I want to start with just a little bit about you, about your background, how you came to enter nursing and how you came to be here at Lexington Medical.
Okay. So I have actually been at Lexington Medical Center. I just celebrated my 35th anniversary back in May. So it's been a wonderful experience for me. And I think I'm one of those people that I've always known I wanted to be a nurse. There wasn't any one particular occurrence that happened in my childhood or anything. So I've always known that. But I knew about Lexington Medical Center. I actually started here as a nurse tech between my junior and senior year of college up at Clemson. And then I had a great experience that summer and came back after I graduated, and I've been here ever since. So, I think it's nice to start out as a nurse tech, and then my background is oncology. So I worked on oncology for about 7 years, and it was a great experience, met a lot of wonderful people, just made me realize even more why I wanted to become a nurse. And then I started moving into the leadership track. So I was a charge nurse and then was a nurse manager for, probably 10 or 12 years. Was a nursing director, and then now I've been in this position for about 5.5 years. So it's been a great experience.
I love it. One of the things that Lexington Medical stresses in recruiting nurses is how that career track is something they really focus on.
Yeah, it really is, and there's a lot of opportunities for growth within the organization. We like to have people that have experience, so it's not that we always grow our own, but there are a lot of opportunities for growth once you get here. So.
And you've got some family members potentially following in your footsteps.
I do. Both of my kids are going the medical route, one nursing and one hopefully a physician one day. So we'll see how that turns out.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, looking at this profession that obviously you've devoted 3.5 decades of your life to, talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges that it's facing right now.
Yeah, well, I think there's always been challenges since I've been a nurse. We've had these ups and downs where you really have a nursing shortage, and then the nursing shortage has never totally gone away, but we've had periods throughout my career that's been better than others. So, I think right now the nursing shortage is the forefront of everybody's mind. I think, when you talk about challenges for the nursing staff, it's, having enough people. Patients are sicker than they used to be, especially, in the hospital. So patients that I was taking care of on a med-surg floor are being taken care of at home now. And patients, when I first started, that were in the ICUs are out on our med-surg floors. So the acuity of those patients has gotten harder. And so it's a challenging time for us. Our nurses are very well prepared, and they're very well prepared, when they get to us, which is a nice thing to have, that we have a lot of good nursing programs in the state. But the shortage is probably the biggest thing that is our biggest challenge right now.
Let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously, we've got a population that's getting older.
Yes.
We have nursing school entry positions that are dropping. We've got a report here from South Carolina's own state government about how the state is poised to have the 10th worst nursing shortage in the entire country. Walk us through a little bit about why is this happening? Before we get into what's happening to address it, what is the reason behind the shortage?
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned a lot of it, and it's not one thing. The aging population, quite honestly, the growth in population, especially here in the state of South Carolina, and even more so in the Midlands, because we have a fast growing community here. So just the vast numbers of people. I think it's that nurses have other opportunities, which is not a bad thing, but, years back when you came out of school, you had the option to work in the hospital, or you had an option to work in a physician network office. Nowadays, there's all kinds of opportunities. So there's nurses that are working for insurance companies and schools and, manufacturing companies. So there's a lot of different opportunities, telenursing, virtual nursing. So it takes those resources away from what you typically hear of people work, you have to work in a hospital before you can work anywhere else. That's no longer the case, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that we need to continue to grow our nursing workforce.
More flexibility to the job, obviously, but it's still a very demanding job, is it
It
not?
is. It is a very demanding job.
Rewarding?
Yes, extremely rewarding. And I tell people, I get to talk to a lot of different people in my job here. And, one of the things I say is that there has never been a day that I have regretted becoming a nurse. Have there been challenges and days that were really tough? Yes. But it is so rewarding. When you first start out, if you're at the bedside, you're taking care of those patients, you are an integral part of their lives for whatever period of time you're taking care of them. And sometimes it's a short period of time and sometimes it's years, depending on what is going on with that patient. So that's extremely rewarding. For my case, as I moved into leadership, now the rewarding piece of it is knowing that we're taking good quality, good patient care, but then also watching the nursing staff grow and making sure they have the resources that they need, helping them return to school if that's what they want to do, making sure we have the technology resources that they need in order to take care of the patients. And it is extremely rewarding. There are challenges. It's sometimes a thankless job, and you just really have to know in your heart that this is what you want to do. I don't think there's any nurse that goes into nursing for the accolades, quite honestly. They do it, and regardless of what's going on with the patient, regardless of what's going on with the situation, you do it for the right reasons, and it's to try to help that patient get better.
So in talking about that culture that exists here, I noticed something that there's a stressor on treating patients as family members. I wanted to read some of the remarks that I saw from some of the nurses that worked here. Great culture, fantastic managers, respect, teamwork. They even called the nursing community here a family. Tell me about the culture of the nursing community here and what makes it different, what sets it apart from other hospitals.
I think that, it really kind of goes back to we want to treat people as we want to be treated, and that has been our culture the entire time. Our mission is to provide quality health services that meet the needs of our communities, and we start talking about our culture and what's expected of our staff as soon as we interview them. And it's so interesting to hear and talk to people who have worked at other organizations, and to talk about an organization our size that still feels like family. And I'll go back to my experience. When I first started, we probably had 1,000, 2,000 employees. We have over 8,000 employees. And anytime an organization grows and grows as fast as we have, you always worry about how are you going to keep that culture. And it is just ingrained in us that we are going to treat people the way we would want to be treated. And I think that goes down to the patient level. And I'm so glad to hear the comments and to see that, because
we checked.
That's what, good. Because that's what we're all here for. And I think the nursing staff, and it's not just the nursing staff. I will say the nursing staff, gets talked about a lot, but it is every single person in this organization, regardless of what your position is. We can't do it alone. We can't do it without supplies. We can't do it without food to feed the patients. We can't do it without having staff that are cleaning rooms. So it really is everybody. And I think that's another unique thing about the organization, because there's nobody that's any better than the person that you're sitting next to. We're all in this together. And I think that's what makes Lexington different.
Well, let me ask you this. We talked earlier about the shortage, and my media outlet has reported on that shortage frequently. One of the things that I find very interesting about the process as it relates to the work of this hospital, you guys are taking a very aggressive approach to addressing that shortage through a partnership with the University of South Carolina. In fact, I believe the dean over at the nursing school, they're referred to it as a transformative partnership. Walk us through, what is that transformation? How is Lexington Medical playing a role in addressing that shortage, not just here, but across the state?
Across the state, yeah. I think it boils down to having really strong visionary leaders, and I think that's what happened both with Lexington Medical Center and the University of South Carolina. It is transformational. When you talk to academic arenas and people that work in academia areas, there's three things that they say that they struggle with. One is they don't have enough space to let people in, and more people into the nursing program. They don't have enough faculty to teach the classes, and then they don't have enough clinical sites when those nurses are ready to come and do clinicals. So we see that, and then when you hear that there are thousands of nurses that are applying to nursing school and they just can't get in, and they can't get in a timely manner because there's no space for them, then that, from somebody that needs to hire those nurses, makes it really, really difficult. So it's not necessarily that there's not enough people that want to do it. We've just got to give them the avenue to get there. So, with Lexington Medical Center, we're helping University of South Carolina in two areas. One is to provide the building, and that takes care of them having enough space. And then we are also going to provide the staff who will perform the clinicals. So they'll be the clinical instructors for all the junior and senior students. Now, we will not do, these University of South Carolina students will still rotate to the other hospitals, but we have said to USC, you do not have to worry about when they come to Lexington Medical Center, we're going to provide the clinical instructor for you. And then Dean Andrews has done a phenomenal job in hiring additional faculty. She's got a lot of initiatives that are in place with that. So we feel very confident that as we roll into this in just a couple of short weeks, the students will be here in August. The faculty is actually moving in this week, and so we're just really excited about it. So, this will allow them to, over time, and over about 5 to 8 years, we're hoping that they'll be able to double the number of students that they are admitting to the university and then graduating. So we're really excited. Obviously, that helps us. We will get to see these students more because they'll do more clinicals with us, and we can certainly tell them all about Lexington Medical Center, but it also helps the state and hopefully all the other hospitals in this area, because they will be graduating additional nurses, which helps all of us.
And it's breaking that log jam for the clinical trials and for some of that training.
Yes.
And will hopefully help facilitate more people who want to get into
to get in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: as far as the impact that it's going to have, I don't want to put you on the spot about numbers, but we could see a significant impact on the shortage, which again projected to be 10th worst in the country. But this could significantly alleviate that.
Yeah, that's what we are hoping, and it will definitely not take care of it completely, but I think all of us, regardless of what your position is and where you work in healthcare, we've got to find a way to work together to encourage more people to go to school, to provide them with the resources to go to school, and then the facilities to go to school. And then we all have to work together to help, because clinicals for a student nurse are very, very important. You don't want the nurses to just be in the classroom. So we've got to be flexible in how we allow more students to come into our hospitals. So yes, it can definitely help with the shortage.
When you were very magnanimous with the other hospitals a moment ago, but I did want to point out Lexington Medical in the running for a potentially historic designation regarding its nursing program. Walk us through the Magnet application and what's the status of that as it relates to this, again, potentially historic designation for your hospital.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this. Magnet is really a global designation that hospitals can seek, and it is sponsored by a nursing committee. It's the ANCC, so the American Nurses Credentialing Center, and that is where this is, you get certification through. So while it is a nursing designation per se, it really is a designation for your entire hospital. So when you get Magnet status, it just says that you've got excellent quality outcomes, that your nursing force is engaged, that you provide them with the tools that they need in order to take care of patients. So we're really excited about this. It's a great opportunity for us. So we have submitted our application, and actually they will be here in just a few short weeks for our site visit. And hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have our designation by the end of October.
That would be amazing.
So
it would be another great accolade for Lexington Medical, which, by the way, again, the #1 hospital here in this fast-growing Midlands region of South Carolina. Melissa, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us and walking us through this, and just wish you guys the best of luck as you continue to expand and, again, hopefully help us resolve this shortage.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.